Imagine a planet almost exactly like Earth. It's right next door, just one step closer to the Sun. Nearly the same size, nearly the same mass, the same planetary rocks and internal structure. Scientists call it Earth's sister, but if you set foot there for even a second, you'd melt. Venus is a planet that looks like Earth's twin, but suffered a fate no one could have imagined. At first glance, it might seem ordinary. White clouds hide the surface, and from Earth, it often appears as a bright shining sphere in the evening sky. But beneath that apparent beauty lies a world that became hell. A world where rain never reaches the ground because it evaporates long before that. A world where the pressure is 90 times greater than on Earth, where the air is poison and the clouds are made of sulfuric acid. And that's only a small part of what makes Venus so terrifying and unique. Yet Venus was once similar to Earth. Its diameter is only 5% smaller, its mass about 80% of Earth's. The composition of its core, mantle, and crust is largely the same. Its density is almost identical, and its distance from the Sun is only tens of millions of kilometers less than Earth's. This makes Venus almost a perfect copy of our planet, like a mirror showing what could have happened to Earth if things had gone just a little differently. In the mid-20th century, science fiction writers and astronomers speculated about Venus. Beneath its clouds, there could have been oceans, maybe life, tropical forests, rivers, and rains. Some believed that Venus might host creatures perfectly adapted to its atmosphere. But with each new discovery, it became clear. Venus was not a paradise. It was hell. The Soviet Venera probes were the first witnesses to what hid beneath the clouds. Venera 7 and Venera 9 transmitted the first data from the surface. The temperature reached plus 460 degrees Celsius. The pressure was so immense that any human would be crushed almost instantly. And the atmosphere. It wasn't air, but a mix of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and clouds of acid. The probes melted. Their metal cracked. Their electronics failed within hours. The most durable one survived only a few hours. And all it managed to send back were images of an orange-yellow, inhospitable surface, where even the rocks looked alien and threatening. Venus, a world that could have been home, turned out to be the most dangerous place in the solar system. Why did Venus become like this? The answer lies in its atmosphere. Billions of years ago, Venus might have had water, oceans, rivers, and rain. But its closeness to the Sun took its toll. The surface temperature began to rise, and the water slowly evaporated. Water vapor is a powerful greenhouse gas. The more vapor accumulated in the atmosphere, the hotter the planet became. And the hotter it got, the faster the water evaporated. This triggered a chain reaction. The planet grew hotter and hotter. The oceans boiled and evaporated, and water vapor escaped into space. All that remained was a dense, scorching atmosphere devoid of life. Venus suffocated in its own air, turning into a fiery furnace. But that's not all. Venus is unusual in many other ways. It rotates backward compared to most other planets, and it spins so slowly that one day on Venus is longer than its year. This means the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. A day lasts 243 Earth days, while a year lasts only 225. Scientists believe that billions of years ago, another planet may have collided with Venus. This impact could have slowed its rotation, tilted its axis, and triggered a cascade of climate catastrophes. After that, Venus had no chance of becoming a living world like Earth. Despite its infernal conditions, Venus is one of the most studied planets. The Soviet probes were the first to make contact. The American Magellan mission created the first detailed radar map of its surface. Now humanity is preparing new missions. Da Vinci Plus, Veritas, and Envision will descend through the clouds to study its atmosphere, surface, and geological activity. Scientists are searching for answers to the biggest questions. Was Venus ever like Earth? Why did a planet so similar in its characteristics turn into hell? And can it tell us something about the future of our own world? The atmosphere of Venus is composed almost entirely of carbon dioxide. Its clouds are made of sulfuric acid, The surface pressure is 90 times greater than on Earth, equivalent to being 1 kilometer underwater. Powerful winds circle the planet at speeds of up to 360 kilometers per hour, driving the clouds around the globe in just a few days. And despite all this, Venus radiates heat into space very slowly. The intense greenhouse effect is the reason the temperature remains around plus 460 degrees Celsius, no matter whether it's day or night. Even at the poles, it's almost just as hot. This planet is a living example of how an atmosphere can destroy everything that might once have been life. The surface of Venus is covered with plains, volcanoes, and mountains. Scientists believe that active volcanoes may be responsible for releasing gases into the atmosphere. The surface of the planet is relatively young, only 300 to 500 million years old. This means that lava flows are constantly renewing it, erasing old craters. There are no oceans on Venus. Every trace of water has evaporated, leaving behind a thick greenhouse cocoon. The rocks and plains are yellow and orange, like the surface of molten metal. Every step on Venus would be impossible for a human, and even the strongest robots can survive there only for a few hours. Venus is a warning to us. What happened there could happen here. The greenhouse effect is a natural process, but if it spins out of control, the consequences could be catastrophic. Oceans could evaporate, and the atmosphere could become deadly. When we look at Venus, we see a possible future. If we fail to control our climate and environment, Earth could follow the same path. This planet is a mirror, showing how small changes can lead to a global catastrophe. Some scientists suggest that microbes might exist in the upper layers of Venus's clouds. In 2020, phosphine, a gas produced by living organisms on Earth, was detected there. This discovery sparked many hypotheses that life might exist on Venus, perhaps in its clouds, where temperatures and pressures are slightly milder than on the surface. New missions will be able to test these hypotheses. If life is found there, it will open a new chapter in the search for life in the universe. Venus shows us the price of losing balance. It reminds us that even a planet almost identical to Earth can turn into hell. Billions of years ago, it may have been alive, and now it's a scorching desert wrapped in clouds of acid. We look at Venus, and we see a reflection of ourselves. Two sisters born from the same cosmic cloud, whose fates diverged. One remained alive, the other perished under the weight of its own atmosphere. Venus, Earth's unlucky twin.